Hey guys, what's up? It's Tony here, and this is possibly one of the harder videos I'm going to have to do. And one of the... I don't know how to word it. It's going to be tough, I know it is. There's a lot of issues in here that I need to discuss and that I'm going to talk about. And it's covering the period of my life that practically everything that could have went wrong did go wrong. And how I'm still here to speak about what happened is probably testing me how strong I am. But it features probably the worst 6 months of my life. And also, yeah, just unbelievable stuff. Anyway, so let me take you back. It's almost like a story. I feel like I should have a little book opened up and talking about it. So yeah, this kind of explains where my main depression came from, anxiety came from, and where I hit I've been very low throughout this current period. The levels of lowness I reached at this point in time, which I'm going to talk about, are even lower than what I've done now. And that is something, yeah, it's pretty bad. So about time frame wise, this was 2010 going on to 2011. So I think it started around about mid 2010. So you get a sense of how far back we're going anyway. I was, believe it or not, in 2010, I was engaged. I had 2 cats. I had a 3-bedroomed house that was mortgaged. I had a, obviously, fiance. And life was alright. Life wasn't perfect. It wasn't great. But I was plodding along. And, you know, most people probably would have said that type of thing you kind of need in life is that. But for me, there was something lacking, and I couldn't quite put my finger on what was lacking in the relationship, but there was something. And I had to make a very difficult choice of ending it. 4 or 5 years this relationship was. We had a house together, and the cars and the cats, and yeah, I kind of made a very difficult decision. When I look back on that decision, was it the right or wrong one? You can't do that. You can't look back. Would it have made life a hell of a lot easier for next? I would probably be married with kids now, I guess. I don't know. Possibly it might have ended. I guess I probably would have been at that stage. So you're not talking about a little decision here. Talk about a massive decision was made on that period of time. So, we start talking about things. Marriage was in. She kept bringing up marriage, and I kind of kept batting away the subject because deep down I knew that things kind of need to end. And we unfortunately worked for the same organisation in two totally separate buildings. However, because of budget cuts, they decided to bring the organisations together a couple of months before we were due to... Yeah, well, a couple of months before the breakup happened. And this time was kind of getting closer and closer and closer, and I kind of knew that it was getting closer and closer and closer, and I was like, oh my god, I'm thinking about ending it with this girl, and we're going to be working the same floor very shortly. So eventually, one day, it just happened. Not going to go into detail, it just happened. She asked a question, I had answered honestly and did, and yeah, this is where shit fucking went down, and my life changed forever really on that one decision, one chat, one talk. And that's how short life can be sometimes when you talk about these sort of things. So basically within a week of making that decision, things have changed. That night, my first night spending alone in 5 years. I'd never slept alone in 5 years or slept with her, would never had a night apart, lying in bed, and I get a text to say my granddad had died. Not suddenly. Yeah, kind of suddenly, yeah. He'd been in and out of hospital, but very suddenly. can't begin to describe that loneliness to anyone. To first night alone in 5 years, and to get a text, phone call, it might be the phone call, I'm pretty sure it was a text, to say that your granddad had died. And I shed, and I'm not joking here, I'm not lying, bearing in mind what state I was in anyway after just breaking a girl's heart and having to make this decision and then being told my granddad died, one tear. One single tear. I lay in bed that night, that was it, just one tear. And went to bed. That was hard to take. The funeral was awkward as hell. My mum decided to invite my ex in the hope of getting us back together. Wrong place to do that. And she... Oh yeah, also that year, my mum and stepdad divorced. Yeah, I think that was before that, because at the funeral, my stepdad met my mum's new, would have been boyfriend at the time, I think. So yeah, that was awkward as hell. So a bit of time passed. I was luckily to be moved to a different part of the organisation for a little bit. And I would say I could have secured a job in there. And me and my friend decided to go on holiday to Salou, and I decided to get mortal and smashed the night beforehand. Came into work and was still throwing up, and put on, and went home really unwell, and went on holiday. Had an alright holiday, not bad holiday. Unfortunately, I learned very hard not to put things on Facebook publicly after that, because that came back to bite me on the ass. I'm not going to go into details because I don't know if I could. But yeah, so basically, 5-year relationship ended. Granddad had died. Job hanging by a thread almost because of something I'd wrote in jest, and someone decided to put a complaint in against me. Learned a very valuable lesson there about Facebook and what goes on there. So this is, we're talking about 2 or 3 months this has all happened in. I then get moved back into the apartment, so I've now got to face up to the fact of, being on the same floor as this girl. We then get our mortgaged house valued, and we paid 106 for it. It's now worth 65 grand. 65 grand from £106,000 we paid for that flat house. So, money problems start coming in. At this point, we decided to get we had a joint bank account at this, but obviously we've been split for 2 or 3 months. Things were starting to go a bit edgy, so we said would get single bank accounts. And I requested the forms to take my name off the account, set a new account up. They set it up wrongly, and she got all my money for that month. So I'm now being told the house is worthless. I've now just been moved back to the same floor as her. I've now got no money to live on because she controls my money at this point. And that's why I have huge issues if anyone tries to control me. Huge issues because of what... Well, it gets worse, but... So this is all going on. Then I start to shut down emotionally. I find myself unable to cry, unable to laugh, unable to do anything. My emotions really take a hit. I become a shell of who I am. Compounded by the fact she went through a period of just letting herself into the house. She was like, it's my house as well. And I remember once coming out of the shower and she was sitting downstairs without asking. I became so anxious, it's unreal. Every time there was a bang at the door, every time there was a car door, I would rush to the window. I would spend all night looking out that window, making sure she wasn't turning up, because she would just turn up. And the amount of times I was just sitting there and she would just knock and come in and go, right, I'm coming for this, come for this. I remember once going to make some Sunday dinner. I was making mince and potatoes and went to get the herbs out the cupboard and the herbs were gone. Went to wash the car that day. The jet wash was gone. She started to take tools. She started to take everything. Every time I came in the house, there was something else gone of ours. And this made me incredibly anxious and still does to this day. Every time, even now, if I hear a car door or bang, I'm like, shit, who's that? Why the what is it? Why is it for me? And I get so anxious, and because of the actions of her that done this. So yeah, basically now I'm emotionally destroyed, anxious as hell because of this. I'm having massive financial difficulties because I've come to the realization that this house is worth 45 grand less. No, 45 grand less than what we paid for it. So it gets to the Christmas time. And can you remember that awful Christmas where it snowed constantly? Yeah. I live in a cul-de-sac, the only person that drove. I drove a pretty nice car this time. No. I got to bring it back. I've missed something out. We then decided we had to get rid of our nice car. It's split down the middle, and we'd take on debt and have two separate cars, so I got another car. So that was stressful. Our second car, which was a summer car, we had to sell that, and the guy knew we were breaking up and offered us about £1,000 less than what it's worth. So we had £1,000 of that loan left to pay. We had this one car that we were sharing 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, that we decided to go down the middle and get two separate cars. So we had that debt. House is now worth 46 grand or whatever it is, less than what it should be. Debt is mounting. And it gets to Christmas, and we have that awful, awful winter. I'm spending hours a night digging the cul-de-sac out for me to get out. I have to leave work for 6:30 in the morning. I'm getting more and more. The amount of stress on me at this point is getting ridiculous. And I'm getting worse and worse and worse in myself, and feeling worse. And suicidal thoughts start coming in. Anxiety, depression, feeling down, feeling horrible. It's just, I can't even begin to tell you. Christmas time comes, and this is where you're supposed to G yourself up and go on Christmas. And I get one of the worst flus I've ever had in my life. Soon to be eclipsed, but one of the worst flus of my life. I didn't eat for a week. That's how bad it was. So to compound all this is happening, this is now going on, and I'm feeling really ill, down. It comes to around about January, and work start to notice that I'm this down, and especially colleagues at work are starting to notice that this is taking its toll. And I confide in my boss that I really don't think I can live anymore, and that I'm not just planning it, I'm really going to do it. Well, not really going to do it. Well, yeah, that's probably the right word. I'm really going to just go out and do it if I don't get help soon. And she referred me to occupational health straight away. And that's where I met my counsellor, and he was really, really good. He made me write all my issues down on a board, and then we'll talk through each issue and had a look at dealing with what you can control and what you can't control in life. And this is when things started coming into play a little bit. So I had one of them sessions, and I think about this time I'd met someone else, and my ex had found out about it, and she wasn't particularly happy at this point. So it's continuing on. So the money troubles were the worst things, because I was living on next to nothing, and I bought a Clio Sport, and the petrol was ridiculous. I'll spend so much petrol. So it gets to February, and I wake up really ill one night, like shivering, horrible. I then get quarantined for a week with swine flu in hospital. Actual hospital. I get quarantined for a week. I get put on an IV drip. The IV drip misses where it should be going, and I lose the use of one of my fingers for 4 months. Just say that in. I lose the use of my finger for 4 months. So I'm in hospital in agonizing pain. I've lost the use of one of my fingers because of a hospital botch up. I'm ill. I then realize how lonely I am and how I've got nobody in life, because nobody is visiting me apart from my mum came visit me a few times. My good friend at work bought her fiance or husband's PSP over, so I had that to play and watch movies on. And I get out eventually after about a week, and I hit counselling again. And because obviously I couldn't counsel when I was in hospital. And we start discussing certain things that I can do or change. And you know, the anxiety thing of herself in and taking my stuff, he was like, well, why don't you just borrow someone's bra and leave a bra lying around? Then she won't ever come in again. Or leave girly mags lying around. Just something that she makes her feel uncomfortable coming into your space. So I never got around to trying that, because then the next thing happened. So when we got together and moved into this house, I put about $1,500 on a credit card buying TVs, that sort of thing, for the house. And I stopped at my the new girlfriend's house one day, come back, and everything's gone. Come back home, everything, just took it all. My TV, my Blu-ray player, my ornaments. I had giraffe ornaments. They were gone. You know how much I love giraffes. Gone. Everything gone. That I owned. I had nothing. I had my PC, my Xbox 360, and a TV, and my small TV. That's all I had in life. She took everything. I was wiped out. So, bearing in mind everything else I've got going on, I decide to leave. I move in for a couple of weeks with the girl I was seeing, which was very difficult. She had 2 kids. I'd never lived with kids before. Good on her to give me that option to move in with that. Good on her. But yeah, so we're now up to March. So I now have nothing. She just took everything that I own. Debt is mounting up now that I've got loads of debt that I can't control anymore. I've lost my nice car. I've lost my cat. I've lost my house. My mum and stepdad divorced. So I've got to get used to a new fella. I've started counselling because of how bad I'm feeling suicidal, feeling horrible. And I'll then decide that I can't handle debt. I go to speak to someone and they say the only course of action you have here is to go bankrupt. So I made the very, very difficult decision to go bankrupt. And that has affected me for the next 5 years. It's not an easy decision to make. It was the right decision at the time, but wow, that is bugging me up for the next 5 years. It's over now. It's gone. It's fantastic. Bye-bye. This month is the first month I'm properly debt-free in 5 years. I've now sorted everything out. I've got my own stuff. I've got my own apartment. This is where I am. I've got my own things. I own that fridge, which is that way because the camera's the other way around. I own that TV. I own everything I own washing machines. I own toasters, kettles, computers, TVs, PlayStations. Everything's mine now, and it's great. I've got everything I lost 5 years ago, but I just feel that that decision 5 years ago cost me 5 years of my life. It really did. And I've had to sacrifice holidays. I've had to sacrifice so much to get back to where I am now. And that's why this has hit me so hard, because when I moved into this apartment, I thought, yay, it's done. And I don't know why. And, well, I do know some reasons why, but it destroyed me yet again. And this is why it's getting dealt with properly last time, because last time I just didn't quite feel that I 100% dealt with the issues. And I've now found out more issues. I've found out previous issues, and that is why I'm dealing with them now. And dealing with them properly, I'm going to finish this journey. As I keep saying, fuck depression. That should be the motto here. I might get that on a t-shirt, just fuck depression. And this is never happening again. I can't have this happen again. I'm not strong enough to deal with it yet again. Next time this happens, I don't know what I'll do, but I don't think I'm strong enough to deal with it. So this is why it's not happening again. But yeah, everything we've talked about happened in between about 6 months, 7 months. To go through that as a person and generally alone was tough. Now, I can't say it got easier. There was a lot of hard times since, and obviously now there's more. But yeah, I hope that kind of gives you a greater understanding of my anxiety issues, my depression, and where they come from. It comes from that 7 months of my life where I lost everything. And when I mean everything, even the wooden giraffe, it was a 6-foot wooden giraffe. She took that. You used to have a running joke with the girl I've seen at the time. She'd be like, oh, what about this? Yeah, she took it. Oh, what about that? Yeah, she took it. It was a running joke because literally that girl took everything. And I hurt her, obviously, by breaking up. And yeah, I had 5 years of my life destroyed. But never mind. I'm kind of picking it all up now, the little pieces of life. And I've got to kind of be careful where I go from now, because I own things now. I'm back to where I want to be in life. I've got a decent job. I've got a company car. I've got what I need and want in life. And got to be super careful now. And I haven't been. That's where I've fallen back in this again. And this is why it can't happen again. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I know it's a very hard subject to cover. And fuck me, there's some difficult things to cover in there. But that's kind of me. And, there's some things I've left out there. There's some things that I probably won't speak about ever. But, yeah. Anyway, I'll catch you all later. Goodbye.